Hello, I am Minister William, or if you wish, Reverend Will. Um, this is the sermon for August 15th, 2021. And as always, we will start with a moment of silence for prayer or meditation or what have you. All right. Well, I know I touched a little bit on it last week about treating people with respect during this whole new issue with COVID. And since people seem to be, not anyone of this congregation, but since a lot of people are back to square one about the whole thing, I thought I would read a sermon from the ULC website called "It's Past Time We Stop Disrespecting Service Workers." It is written by Jeremy Michaels of the ULC. So let's get on with it. In the midst of the raging COVID-19 pandemic, which has taken over 300,000 American lives, it seems some people will stop at nothing to avoid wearing a mask, regardless of the risk to themselves and to others, particularly others who provide services. Disrespect, despite the safety requirements set in place by state leaders, many anti-maskers just can't seem to find it in their hearts to follow the rules and respect service workers. Those on the front lines just trying to earn a living through this whole mess. In a rage-inducing incident recently as it's been written, as from the time this was written, Illinois, uh, in a rage-inducing incidents recently, as this was written, Illinois Christians attempted to gain access to a Denny's restaurant by claiming religious exemption to the state-issued mask mandate. The poor server clearly had had enough after informing the men multiple times that they could not be seated without masks. The employee quit on the spot. The whole thing was caught on camera. A link to the video is included below, which I will do as well. It's on YouTube. And warning, it's explicit language. Explicit language. Roger, I'm not working for this anymore. These guys won't put their mask on, and I'm sick of feeling like this. The worker is quoted as saying, before taking off their apron and gathering their materials to leave, the two patrons attempted to justify their decisions to put their fellow restaurant goers and restaurant workers in danger by claiming a religious exemption. Sir, the Civil Rights Act says we can claim a religious exemption for not wearing a mask. We're not sick, they insisted. The video features the men listing specific subsections of Civil Rights Act of 1964 as well. It has been part of the disturbing trend in the United States with a new self-shot videos popping up every day of someone who refuses to wear a mask claiming religious exemption, often with less than flattering results. These attempts to sidestep a simple task of wearing a mask are often more effort than simply wearing the mask in the first place, and lead many to wonder why the point of these exercises. But does the argument for religious exemption hold any weight when it comes to masking? Religion is not a shield for negligence. Most of the time, the request for a religious exemption involves a person of faith requesting an exemption from performing an action, activity, or event which would bring offense against their faith. While the requirements for religious exemption can extend to medical cases, this is generally exclusively with regard to the patients themselves and how the exemption affects them. Jehovah's Witnesses, for example, are well known for not accepting blood donations, regardless of what it means to their medical outcome. In this case, however, the argument for religious exemption doesn't apply. Masks are not designed to protect the wearer from inhaling viral particles. They are used to protect the people around you from getting sick if you have the virus and don't know it. If the men in the Denny's case were requesting an exemption from being required to eat certain foods, they would perhaps have solid argument. However, because the request for exemption would not only affect others beside themselves and go against the current safety mandates, the case for exemption is incredibly weak at best and non-existent at worst. And who suffers because of it? The service workers, who are subject to this nonsense. What will it take to stop these people from acting like this? Like I said, I will post a link to the video. Um, I get this lady's frustration. In my day job, um, I am a cashier and stocker, so I have to deal with a bunch of these people all the time. I have heard people say that COVID is false. I I know people personally who've had it. I know people have who know people who've had it, and yeah, it's not false. People, the thing is, people don't want to do anything for anyone else if it inconveniences them even a little bit, and that's the wrong way to be in this world. And I don't think it's all over the world, but I know it's mainly here in America. And as an American, I know we have to do better because we are not living up to the promises or statutes of America. We want freedom for ourselves, and we are willing to crush our neighbor over the lowest inconvenience and think that we're not free if we're inconvenienced in any way. But in this whole mindset has made everyone extremely selfish. Nobody seems to care about anyone but themselves anymore. But yes, please wear your mask if you're asked to. If you don't want to wear a mask, you can just turn around and walk back out through the door you came in. It'll make everything a lot simpler for everyone involved, even you. But, yes, please stop fighting with each other over stupid things like wearing a mask. Just put it on. And remember, when we all come together, the possibilities are endless. Thank you, everyone, and